You are? The reason I'm doing this is because today's story is about a lamp. And I wanted you to know how lamps there's different kinds of lamps, and there's some lamps that are oil lamps, and this is an oil lamp. So if you've never seen this before and you want to come over and look, you can come see. Come on over and peek in there if you don't know this. So there's liquid in there, and that's oil. So for light to have light, it needs a source of energy. And we often see candles, right? So we burn the candle. But lamps sometimes are oil lamps. And I want to tell you a story today. And as a matter of fact, Dianne and I are each going to share a little something about light this morning because many traditions this time of year especially talk about the light. And so Dianne and I have two different stories of light. The first one I want to tell you comes from the Jewish tradition, and it involves a lamp. Does anybody know what this is called? This one right here is called a menorah, which actually translates as lamp. Now, often menorahs these days, we see them like this where they have candles. But this is a story about an original lamp that was heated by oil. And in this story, it happened a long, long time ago in a place called Israel. And at this time, a long, long time ago, there was a king that came into power. I'm going to give you a hint. He was not a Unitarian Universalist king, okay? He was the kind of king that thought that everybody should have the same religion as he. And he happened to worship Greek gods. And so he decided that everybody had to just be the same religion, and he went into the Jewish temple, and he took it over. And they put up all their own statues, and they made it illegal for anybody to worship any other way. Is that a good idea? What do you think? No, in this, right? Well, luckily there were some people who were some Jewish people called the Maccabees, and they thought, you know what, we're going to fight back. And they did, and eventually they won back their temple. So they go into their temple, and it's like a mess. There's all kinds of things all over the place, all these different statues that aren't part of their faith. So they take them down, and they clean it all up, but they needed some light. And they look around, and they found a menorah. They found the lamp. And in the lamp was a little bit of oil, and they thought, oh, wow, that's only enough oil that's going to probably light this lamp for one day. But they lit it anyway so they could get their work done. And in the meantime, somebody went out and tried to find some more oil, but they couldn't find any oil. So the first day came and went, and guess what happened? The light stayed lit. And the second day came and went, and the light stayed lit. And the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. Guess how many days that lamp stayed lit? I'll give you a hint. How many? 10, close to 10. 8. It stayed lit for 8 days.
Also, the middle candle doesn't stand for in a day. It stands for the middle one, what the other.
That lights the other one. Thank you, that's right. And good math, because there are 9 candles on a menorah, aren't there? So this one lights all the other, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So every year since then, one of the holidays that people who are Jewish celebrate is called Hannukah. And the reason it's called Hannukah is because the Hannukah means dedication, and it happened during this time where they were rededicating this temple. And it honors the light and the miracle of the light, where this little tiny bit of oil that was only supposed to last one day lasted for 8 days. And then they found more oil after that, and they were able to continue. And that is one of their stories of hope and faith. Dianne, do you have another story to tell us about light?
I do.
Awesome.
So do y'all like candles? Yeah, I like candles too. The light is really soothing and pleasant. So pagans this time of year celebrate Yule, and we use candles in our celebration of Yule. So you may have heard of Yule as another name for Christmas, and that's not wrong, but pagans have a more specific definition or celebration of Yule. So Yule we celebrate Yule on the winter solstice. So do y'all know what the significance of the winter solstice is? It's a science thing. It's the somethingest day or the somethingest night. What is it? Yes, the shortest day or the longest night. So after the winter solstice, the days start to get longer. So we use the fire of candles, and also sometimes just fire of burning logs, to welcome back the sun and welcome back the longer days. So humans have cycles of activity and rest. So for example, during the course of a day, you sleep sometimes and you're awake sometimes. And so also we have cycles of rest and activity over the course of a year. So in the summertime, when the days are long and it's warm, people are more active. In the wintertime, when the sun sets so early, it's like every time you look out the window, it seems like it's dark already. And and it's cold, and people just don't want to do as much. People just don't have as much energy. And so for pagans, the dark days of the year are a time of rest. And so that's time you want to do some introspection. And so that means you're thinking about how things are going in your life and what you think about that. And then, so when we celebrate Yule, we're celebrating the fact that those more active days are on their way again. And so on Yule, we'll make intentions. And so intentions are like, what do I want for myself for the coming year? And and then we also use the light of candles to welcome back the sun. So in ancient times, like in Northern Europe, they would burn these giant logs, and sometimes an entire tree, to welcome back the light of the sun, the longer days, and the rebirth of the sun. So sometimes they'd take that whole tree, bring it into their house, and like shove it into one end into the fireplace and just keep pushing it in there as it burned. So we have inherited that tradition as the Yule logs. And so here is Emerson's Yule log. And so you notice it has candles on it. Sometimes people will burn the whole Yule log to celebrate the return of the sun, the longer days. A lot of times the Yule log itself is a decoration and we're just burning the candles. And so that's how Emerson's Yule log works. A lot of Yule logs also have greenery on them. So this one has a little bit, but you can't really see it. So greenery, evergreen stuff like holly, mistletoe, ivy. So this time of year, there are when the trees have lost their leaves, they appear to be dead. And but there are some plants that are still green in the wintertime, evergreen. And so to the Druids, the ancient Druids, evergreen represented everlasting life. And the greenery that we have to decorate and to celebrate and on the Yule log also reminds us that even when times are bleak, it seems bleak, that cycles will turn around and better days are on their way. So that is how pagans also use candles to celebrate our winter holiday.
And you know what, Diane? It made me think of a question. What do you do on a birthday cake? You put candles, and before you blow them out, what do you usually do? You sing happy birthday. What else do you do? CJ? Make a wish. So I wonder, because you were talking about making you kind of set the intentions for the new year, I wonder if that's where that tradition came from.
Some people do consider wishes on the Yule log, the candles be for wishes on the Yule log.
Well, yes, and then we have a little present for each of you. You blow the candles out, that's right, you do blow the candles out when you have a birthday cake. One more. And you think what you're going to wish for. So I'm going to offer each of you a little candle for the holiday season, and I'm going to invite you to come up one by one, and you can pick a color that you would like, and take this home, and maybe with your parents you can decide to put it on the table tonight, because tonight's the longest night, and you can start burning it to bring some light, and maybe make a wish, set an intention for the new year, and this can be your mini returning of the lights. So come on up and take a candle, and then all of you can rise in body or spirit, and we will join together in our song of dedication.